My name is Jerm. This is Jerm Warfare, the battle of ideas. Okay, we are recording. Man, it's been a while. James, Walton, thank you for joining me in the trenches.
Jerm, man, a whole new man it sounds like.
Well,
or at least half a new man, right?
I'm a little bit sick at the moment, so you can hear my voice. I've got a bit of a head cold.
Yeah, man, I don't know what's wrong. Well, I spent the last 4 days, no, minus 1 day, like just roasting in the August North Carolina sun all day. So I'm a little bit of a sheet of what I once was. I'm definitely on the recovery. You know what I mean?
It's winter here. Maybe that's the reason. Some people might say I have COVID, but I don't believe in that.
You don't look like you have COVID or anything like that. I wouldn't even have known you were sick unless you said it, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm going to hope that you'll do the heavy lifting here and save me from talking.
I'll do my best, man. I'm pretty good at yapping, so shouldn't be too much of an ask.
Dude, you and I have been chatting for years. We've never met.
Yeah.
I really hope that will change in the future. You're one of the good guys.
Oh, man. Wow. It's so wild that you say that, because one of my buddies at prepper camp this year handed me this. If I wouldn't ruin the whole broadcast, I'd show you, but he got me this big, giant Captain America poster, and he was like, "That's you, dude." It's so weird to hear you say you're one of the good guys.
But you
I
are.
appreciate that. It's a huge compliment. You know, I don't know. I'm just doing things every single day, consistently trying to make the Prepper Broadcasting Network what it deserves to be, and be a good dad, be a good guy. I guess it's working.
But that's why I think you're one of the good guys, because you focus on the things that matter, the circle of influence, the stuff that you can actually change.
The whole secret of life is that, man. You get 24 hours and you can do what you want with it, for the most part. Even if you got to cut 8 hours for work, you can still fit stuff into work, And, my son is 15 now, and one of the big things I want to convey to him is just that. Like, let's figure out what the perfect day looks like and try to make life just a replica of that over and over again, And that's the best you can do most of the time.
One of my regular guests on my show is a South African. His name is Simon Roche. And he represents an exit strategy group here in South Africa should a civil war or civil unrest break out. And
to get off the continent, or just to get out of South Africa?
Out of the country, right? So it's all to do with, but it's all effectively prepping. That's why I'm telling you that. So it's about gold and silver and where to hide it, and roads and quite literally exit strategies, right?
Sure, yeah.
And of course, nobody wants that. But
nobody wants that.
But the whole point of prepping is just in case.
Yeah. Well, every day things happen that we don't want. You know what I mean? I just came out of Western North Carolina over the weekend, and if you told those people, what was it, 2024, 5 years ago, if you said, hey, one of the strongest hurricanes you could ever imagine is going to work its way up through the United States, up through the Appalachian Mountains, and it's going to smash your town in a way that you've never, like apocalyptic scenes, right? You would never believe it. They would never believe it. And what's happened in that area is total decimation, and now they're in the rebuild. But when you get up there and you talk to a lot of those people, you run into a lot of preppers by nature, and you see that, a lot of people weren't prepared, but many people were. And a lot of the rescue efforts and all that kind of stuff comes from preppers. FEMA didn't really do much up there. There was some bandits up there that showed up pretending they were going to do good. The locals who were prepared really made the difference when it came to that. They were rescuing people by mule, I think it was, and taking supplies by, I want to say it was mule, but now I think it wasn't mule. I think it was another animal, llamas, something like that. I can't remember, but it was it was the locals and their preparedness that really made the difference. So to your point, your guys got the right idea, because it will be the people around you and you who can make the difference in the disaster nobody wants, because nobody wants the disaster to begin with, right?
You need a circle of influence, and you need to know what that circle of influence is. Yeah, the things that you can change right now.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the closest, the most intimate level, I always say lights, water, power. You know what I mean? It's almost inevitable, no matter what the situation is. If there's some kind of emergency to disaster, everybody shrinks down to lights, water, power. Like, it's dark. We're going to get thirsty. We need to get the word out. You know what I mean? We need to understand what's going on, and we may need to power some kind of climate control or something along those lines, because maybe it's the dead of winter or, summer heat, that kind of thing. But if you can affect those things almost immediately in a disaster, then I feel like you're really on top of a lot of people in terms of restarting the engine and maybe being helpful also.
But one of the advantages of living in South Africa is that you're forced to prepare. For example,
you guys got to do power.
Yeah,
right?
Electricity is one. It's one of those things that we have very little of.
Yeah.
But by the way, do you know what we in South Africa had before candles? Electricity.
Oh my God, dude, that is phenomenal.
Let me give you an example, right? So in 2023, that was one of our worst years, electricity-wise.
I remember talking to you. Yeah, it was an eye-opening time. You're telling me about the rolling blackouts and everything.
Oh, it was bad. This year has actually been probably one of the better years we've had in the last 10 years.
Well, that's a good sign. What's the cause? More power, less people, less power demand? What do you think?
That's a discussion for a different day. I think it's a bit of design and a bit of emergence. I think we are underpowered, quite literally in terms of power stations, but we also have the global agenda of removing coal and nuclear and forcing everybody to use solar panels and wind turbines, and that doesn't work. On a macro level, that is.
Real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I've been studying maps of the U.S. and different features and different military targets and this kind of stuff. And I didn't know it, but we have 90 plus active nuclear power plants in the United States. How many nuclear emergencies have you ever heard of in the United States?
I think it was just 5 Mile Island, wasn't it?
3 Mile Island, yeah.
3 Mile Island.
PA, which was a human error. But just to wrap your head around that, this didn't happen yesterday. These things were built like 70s, 80s. I almost can't think of a better resume than that.
Not South Africa. In Africa, there is, I think, only one nuclear power station, and that's here, about an hour's drive from my house.
Imagine if you had 5.
The problem is
chucking candles out the window.
It's the green lobby is one of the major causes of us not being able to build more.
Yeah, everybody needs more. I really believe in it. I really do. Only just from the sheer fact of, like, if there's so many issues with coal, if there's so many issues with oil, if there's so many issues with solar, if there's so many, like, you look around at nuclear power's resume of, like, it's been here, it's been doing its thing, it's been powering American homes for 50 years almost now. Like, where's all the tragedy? Fukushima only blew up because we had an earthquake. Well, it didn't even blow up, and melted down because we had an earthquake so big it shook the planet off its axis. You know what I mean? Like, we can't help that. There's nothing we could have done to prepare for that. But it turns into a nuclear emergency. So,
and by the way, I think it was around 16,000 people who died at Fukushima, and it wasn't because of the power station. It was because of
they wouldn't leave.
It was because of that. It was because of that tidal wave that came in.
Yeah,
that's what killed everybody.
Yeah, that was a big one. There's a great show on about that. I wish I could tell you the name of it. I wrote a whole article about it about 3-4 years ago. But before I wrote it, I watched the whole show. It was like a literal fiction. You know what I mean? Like a cinematic show, not a documentary. And it's really good. You really get to see how the whole thing went down.
Getting back to what I was saying about our electricity, in 2023, we had, I think, close to 50% of the entire year of rolling blackouts of around 8 hours per day.
Wow.
So that forces you, but that forces you to make alternative plans. And yes,
that is true.
And yes, that does mean. Yeah, that does mean you look into things like wind and solar and generators and whatever else. Those things are great on a micro level, and they can certainly help in your home. I mean, having solar panels on the roof is a great way to get off the grid.
So do people burn gas like crazy in gas generators there? Like once the rolling blackouts happened, did you hear like
Yep.
everywhere and everybody's running generators, polluting?
Yep.
I love it.
This is
I love the
Africa, dude.
mentality
We
of
are
the
very behind, mate. We are
no,
extremely.
not you guys. I'm not picking on Africa. I'm South Africa. I'm picking on the mentality of the left wing that's like, we can let's just not generate power, less power, and tell everybody turn their lights out. Like we're not going to pull on ripcords and start burning diesel or petrol or whatever. You know what I mean? To power our house anyway. It's this whole dream of people don't need power unless they're rich enough and loud enough to fight for the green lobby, because then they'll have the lights on and fly in private jets all over the whole world, right? You've seen that.
But the thing, though, is that my point is that we are forced here to think about preparing.
Yeah,
there's
a silver
for
lining
example,
in everything, right?
Yes, exactly right. That's my point. I mean, if you live in a first world country that has everything and there are no issues, and suddenly your power goes out, you fall apart.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we see that in America still all the time. You know, it is one of those things. When I was little, man, power would go out. We just go outside, talk to the neighbors. Didn't matter what time, 3 a.m. Everybody came outside. Wonder how long it'll be. I don't know. If an EMP hit, we'd had no chance. We wouldn't even know. We'd been sitting there waiting. One of these days, it's going to turn back on. You know, no cell phones, that whole thing. But you're right. Without being pushed a lot of times, and you see it a lot in America because we're rarely pushed, but without being pushed, a lot of times people don't just wander into preparedness unless they were born and raised in a self-sufficient situation like your kids will be. They'll be on it because they grew up that way, you know?
Self-sufficiency is a big part of getting past sort of the globalist agendas anyway.
It's essential. It's the only way we're going to survive the future. Now, even if you don't have to have it all online, you have to have it all in here or on the shelf, or so you have to be able to recall to it and utilize it, because we're heading into a world like where convenience melds into radical addiction and tyranny. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. Like you and I probably grew up in the convenience era where it was like, oh, we can get real comfy and this is real convenient. Now it's bleeding into literal tyranny and addiction. And that's just where we're at.
I was having a conversation with a good mate of mine, a South African who emigrated to Canada. I'm so sad to say. I mean, of all the places in the world, why would you go to Canada? Nevertheless,
he's got the skill set. I'm sure they'll be without power soon too if they keep it up.
Nevertheless, he went to Canada just over a decade ago, and we still speak, and he visits South Africa just about every year to see his family and friends, or whatever. So we're always in contact. But the thing he was saying to me is that you get so lazy there because currently everything works.
Oh, I see. Yeah, oh yeah. It's an old adage, right? Definitely. Just one of those things. Here in America, we love to say good times make soft men. That's the big popular one right now. You know what I mean? Or maybe a little less popular than it was 2-3 years ago. But yeah, you see it. Comfort and convenience are dangerous, man. They're dangerous if you let them be dangerous, right? If you don't have self-discipline, then they can be dangerous. If you have self-discipline, then it's great. It's a great thing.
We were chatting just last week, in fact, about what we carry on us daily. And it's changed quite a bit for him, coming from South Africa. So I have a different set of things that I keep on me to what he does now. I mean, what do you carry on you?
I carry all kinds of stuff, man. I'm going to throw some at you I'm going to throw one at you in particular that really shakes the boat.
All right, let's do it.
Because something like this is probably my favorite flashlight that I own of many. Okay, it's the M5 PowerTac. It's an awesome light. Awesome. They had a great marketing campaign where they sent a bunch of them out to people who did shows like ours. I don't know if you got yours that way or not, but
we're too far away. Nobody cares about sending us stuff because it's too far away.
No, really. An extra $2 per ship for shipping. Anyway, one of the big things in EDC is always like the flashlight. I got an O-Light S1R on the fridge over there too. That was all the rage. I don't even know what this thing costs. Probably somewhere in the ballpark of $60, $70. If you want to get to South Africa, probably like $80.
Hold on. What's wrong with using the light on your phone?
That's
these
a good
days.
one. That's a good one. Here's what I use.
What's that?
This is a headlamp.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't make out from the.
This is a headlamp that costs, you could buy like a 3-pack or a 4-pack of these. I think it's Doris Energizer. You could buy a 4-pack of those for $20 and everybody in your house has one. But here's what I realized. If I am in the dark and I have to do something, or
Oh, right. Yeah, you need your other hand. Yeah.
put the headlamp on. You don't look like Mr. Tactical Guy Jason Bourne you want to look like, but guess what? You got 2 hands, which is way better than 1 hand. Anytime something happens, power outage, something out back in the dark, this is the thing. Car breaks down in the dark. Honey, hold the flashlight while I put the
I've got one of
headlamp
those.
on
I got one
and
of those.
go
But
to work.
the problem with me is that actually mine is not. It's not close to me. It's actually in my car, I think.
Your headlamp?
Yeah.
Yeah, put one in there too. I got one in there too. You know what I mean? But
I got a whole pile of stuff in my car.
It's just a better thing, you know, in my opinion. It's just through experience, you know. Through experience, I would be dealing with stuff in the dark. This would be sitting on the shelf behind me, and this would be on my head. I'm under the house fixing something. I'm out the chicken coop dealing with that. This thing's sitting on the shelf because what do I want something I got to hold for when I can have a light on my forehead and just, you know, bang away at the problem, get it done?
I have an amazing book that I want to show you quickly. Just hold on one sec.
The Survivor's Guide to Headlamps.
No, I don't know if you can see this.
John Seaborg. Oh, I've seen that. That is a good book, man. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one for sure.
It's very good.
Yeah, I'm partial to no grid survival projects myself, but that's because I helped write that one. So, but that's a good one. It's a huge topic, man. It really is.
Yeah. So in South Africa, one of I suppose the one of the good EDC components is something to do with safety. Now, I mean, I've got guns, but I don't like carrying guns. If I'm being honest, it's just it's very awkward. But I do carry this.
Very nice.
So it's nice and light, and it's cheap, and it's always on me. But that's also not just for safety. But it's not just for safety; it's also quite practical. I think everybody should have a knife on them.
What do I got on me today? I'm carrying a smaller Kershaw, I think it is, today. I think this is a Kershaw.
Oh, but those are expensive. I mean...
No, this isn't a Kershaw, actually.
Oh,
this
that's
is
very
a little
well
guy
used.
that I carry on a day-to-day basis.
That's very well used. Is that a flip open?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if I'm dropping kids off at school, whatever, going to be in and out, I'll take that little guy. I always have a gun. Not that I, you know, there's a whole other conversation to be had about guns, though.
The gun conversation is complicated because
a gun is a sweet spot situation, right?
And also
if someone jumps on you.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of people will say, no, but where I live, we can't carry one.
Yeah, well, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's outlawed in many countries.
So not necessarily in America, but in many countries. Because we're like, I don't want to say this out loud, but I'm going to say it because I don't really care. Gun laws are reaching a point in the United States where people are like, we have a Second Amendment, so try me on that one. You know what I mean? Like they've become so restrictive and so silly. And we've seen so much out of places like Chicago in terms of gun violence where you're not allowed to carry a gun in Chicago. But anyhow, I bought this about a year ago. This is a fun little guy. Goes on your belt. And this really is like where what is that? Folding knife. A folding knife is, utility and that kind of thing. This is a tool for, I think you know what. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm really concerned about self-defense, that's something. It's got the ring here. You know, someone can get a knife from you pretty easily with, if things go hairy, and they're going to go hairy. Nobody's going to be like, I'm going to rob you, stab me. You know what I mean? You're going to be wrestling around. But yeah, I think these are called like eagle claws or something like this. This is a really like run-of-the-mill Amazon $27 with sheath. Great little self-defense weapon for people who can't carry guns. And I'm telling you right now, that thing It's razor sharp. The blade is small. The point is long. It'll go where you want it to go, if you know where you want it to go. You know what I mean? In a situation like that.
Someone sent me an advert for a sale on AK-47s. I don't know if you can see it there. But
Extreme Arms. How much are they going for?
Well, let's do the conversion quick. $970 more or less.
We used to be able to get those for like $350, $400. 10 years ago, you get AK-47 for like $350, $400 in America.
AK-47s are fantastic.
Crazy. They're good guns. Yeah, I've shot them a lot. They're good guns.
You can bury them under the ground and take them out again, and they'll still shoot. The problem is that they get quite hot quite quickly.
Yeah, they're good guns. Not a lot of recoil. I was surprised. I was shooting at 12 gauge before I shot one the first time.
I don't like 12 gauges.
Wow, look at this. Oh, no?
No,
I mean, I don't like them either, but...
No, I think the 12 gauge, it's fun, but it's got way too much recoil. I don't like that. It's just unnecessary.
It's definitely got a lot of, yeah. Yeah, I'm not looking to have an extended gunfight with a 12 gauge in my hand.
But you can't miss. You can't miss with a 12 gauge.
That's what you want, right?
And
somebody's in the house, they're getting hit with pellets. That's happening.
You sound badass.
That's true, too. I'm not worried about that, though. I'm just worried about peppering somebody up and leaving them to think about their actions while I call the police. You know what I mean? That's why I think the multi-tool's so big. The multi-tool just has so many, answers to things.
Is that a Leatherman?
No, I never buy super expensive multi-tools. This one is my newest one. It came in a backpack that a guy from a company called Lima Tango Survival sent me. And I don't know. When you have kids and you're doing things and school things and work things, it just seems like I'm pulling the screwdriver out of this thing. And I don't know, it's pop bottle opener, that kind of stuff is what gets used the most. The pliers side gets used a lot. We do a lot of fishing, so having an extra pair of pliers on hand is good. I don't think that here you go. So we talk about EDC in sticky situations. I don't have it on me because I don't carry it anymore. It's in my car. But there was something in the prepper world that was really interesting for EDC called a Silcock key. Did you ever see one of those? It looks like a plus sign.
Yes, I've seen those.
You've seen those. There's like 11 tools in one. You can get out of an elevator. You can get out of a bus. You can open a water key. You can do all these amazing things. I carried it for a long time, never used it. You know what I mean? And I just said, I'll keep it in the car, I guess. Keep it in the go bag, stuff like that, if we're in one of those kind of situations. But to your point, your EDC will change. And I think that your EDC should change. And I think that your EDC should change based on what and where you're going and what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like every day is not the same. So to choose the knife and the flashlight and the firearm for every single day of your life, no matter where you're at, doesn't sound like, effective to me.
I don't want to carry stuff that pulls my pants down.
Yeah, I get that. I wear a belt, and it works great.
I mean, you get those gun belts that are hardcore, but they're not comfortable.
No, I don't wear a gun belt. I just wear a belt that looks like a seat belt. I don't know what they're called, but they used to call them like tactical belts.
Yeah, I've got those.
They work, man. Yeah, they work. I never have issues. I carry small guns and big guns. Right now I'm carrying a very big gun, actually. It's a Taurus. And, I don't know. You got to have a good holster. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you're going to carry a gun, you got to have a good holster. You got to get like an alien, what do they call it? Alienware? That's a computer. Alien something. I got my holsters early and I've not really changed them much. And this company, the Alien Holsters, type in Alien Holster, you'll find it. They do great work. Leather backed inside the waistband. You put it on, nobody can see you have a gun and you won't, unless you're wearing pants that are so tight you can't believe it. But that's where the belt comes in and all that. So you got to be comfortable because when it comes to carrying anything, if you're not comfortable, you won't carry it. That's what you've realized. That's why you carry. You probably did have a time where you carried a bunch of stuff and you're like, this sucks. Stop carrying it. Now you're carrying less, right?
I have a lot of EDC stuff actually in my car. I have cash.
It's a good move.
Yeah, I carry cash in my car in a place where nobody
looks for it.
Where to look exactly. So, I can send it to the car wash and they will never find my cash. And I've got a pile of stuff. in the car. You can't see it; it's all hidden. But I mean, I've got boxes of matches. I've got fire starters. I've got a fire extinguisher, a little one. I've got stuff, this like liquid stuff that you spray into your tires if you get a puncture.
Yeah.
And then I've got
flat, we call it.
Yeah, and I've got knives, and I've got cloths, all sorts of cloths, and
Well, a lot of people
medical. I've got medical stuff also.
Yeah, a lot of people in the prepping world will argue that, and this I would too. I think this is a belief system and a way that I build out my preparedness is if you're away from home, then your EDC should at least in some part be able to get you to your second tier of preparedness, which is your car, to get you back to your third tier, which is your house, your headquarters of surviving. So outfitting the vehicle for that kind of stuff just makes sense. I mean, you could, probably live out of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on where you live, James. I think Europeans tend to use a lot of public transport. So for them, a car
good point.
is less important. But I mean, here on the African continent, you need a car. And not just a car. You need a 4x4. You don't need one, I guess, in the cities. But I think it's a good idea to have a 4x4 off-road vehicles. I've got one.
Yeah, if you got it. And so, that's a good tip on that end is to decide how far away from home you spend most of your time if you're a working person, and then build out your preparedness that's in your car to that distance. And you may be, this is like sacrilege, but you may be over-prepared. Like I was a bit over-prepared with my get home bag for many, many years. I had a get home bag, you know what I mean? One of these things. I started training for a marathon in 2019, and I would almost run. I'd run like halfway to work while I was training. And I was like, this is like 7 miles to get halfway here. And I started realizing if I just did a full day of walking, I could get home in a calamity. If my vehicle wasn't working or if I couldn't drive because the roads were damaged, blocked, whatever. So I scaled back what I had in my get home bag and turned it into something much lighter, more focused on hydration and mobility. Let's just get home as quickly as possible on foot because it's probably, 14 miles. What? You're going to cover 5 miles probably in an hour and a half, 2 hours if you're moving. You'd be home in 3 hours. So in my head, it was this, in prepping, you always get wrapped up in these fantasies, right? You're always like, I got to go to the cache, get the AK-47 out, fight my way home through hordes of zombies, heal my wounds as I go. It turns into a big video game when really you're probably just putting one foot in front of the other and getting home, turning the generator on, feeding the family something real quick out of the old pantry and waiting. You know what I mean? For the most part, right? So,
and I mean, under this desk that I'm sitting at, I've got 2 backup battery inverter combos.
They're great. I love them. I really do love them. I think they're an incredible advancement. You know what I mean? I think once people realize what they're capable of and what they're not capable of, you can really take advantage of it. It's the first thing I turn on in a power outage. I got one right over here. It's 3,000 watt. It's the first thing I do in a power outage. If we intend to keep business going, then we plug the router into it, and most of the time internet still works.
Yes.
And that's it. Then we go to lights, we go to entertainment after that and decide whether or not we need the gas generator or not.
We've actually got a couple gas bottles. Hang on. When you guys say gas, you don't mean gas, the air.
Gasoline.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are talking gas.
I'm talking about actual gas.
Like the literal gas that we learn about at school.
Literal gas, yes. Literal gas.
Like methane or something, right?
Yes. Which is great for heat and for cooking and for, other things.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something to be said about it. Do you generate it or is it refilled?
No,
like
it's refilled.
So you get propane, like a refill of it. Yeah, that's... If we ever get to the point where we can generate our own, I'll definitely get involved into it. I know people who do some things with methane and rotting food and that kind of stuff, and they make their own. I'm just too scared to blow myself up.
We also make our own compost. My wife grows a lot of vegetables.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah, that's huge, man.
In fact, she grows so many vegetables that she shares it with families here in our community.
Huge. Community, baby. That's it. Yeah. Canning, all that stuff with the extra. Yeah. You like I said, you start well, the thing that most self-reliance books don't tell you, most self-reliance, videos and all that kind of stuff is it just starts making life better. You actually start living the life that you're like, oh, I wanted to live this life anyway. Like I wanted to take vegetables to the neighbors and chit chat and say, hey, how you doing? I didn't want to live isolated, Uber Eats coming, Amazon coming every day. You know what I mean? They're two different lifestyles. And we think that the convenient one is the pinnacle of humanity, but really it's about 10, 15 years back, you know what I mean, where people were still communal and that kind of thing. So, I always say we've done well. We've done great as a species. We just overshot the mark, I think. We overshot the mark on technology and advancement and all that for the human beast.
One of the things that grinds me up the wrong way, in both the mainstream and alternative independent space, is that people moan so much about the government. Yeah, they complain about the government.
It is the age of complaints. There's no doubt about it.
And it's just
There's
constant
no getting around it.
No, exactly. And it's just doom scrolling the whole time. Oh, look what's happening. Everything's falling apart around us. Okay, what are you doing about it?
That's it. That's the whole question. But the problem is, Jerm, it's hard to get people's attention. It's hard to make money if you're not freaking out.
Unless something bad happens.
Yeah, right. And they don't want to hear it.
Or suddenly they realize that they should have prepared.
Should have done something. Yeah. Yeah, it's the old grasshopper ant thing. You know what I mean? The old ancient sort of thing. But yes, outrage sells. Everyone's a critic now. You know what I mean? I grew up I was in the restaurant industry when the only critics were restaurant critics, or largely, maybe book and movie critics sparsely. And then all of a sudden I watched as everybody got, what was that first one, Yelp or something like that? Everyone got the ability to become a critic. And now with YouTube, everyone is a critic of everything. But the food critics of my day were experts. You know what I mean? Like they were respectable experts who ate all across the world and understood a good restaurant from a bad restaurant and that kind of thing. Now just everybody can hop up and go, that movie was shit. I didn't like it. And here's why. You know what I mean? And it's turned, I mean, we get on our kids about it all the time. I'm sure you'll do the same once your kids get old enough. It's like, dude, be grateful. Like you sound very ungrateful for a young American kid who has his hands like capable of touching everything in the universe. Because it's part of the culture, you know?
Not everything in EDC should be about safety and survival. James, I, for example, carry a pen and a little notebook on me.
It's a good one. I've gone through iterations of that. Here's one that I carry all the time now. This guy is is just a little metal tube that has cinnamon oil toothpicks in it. I've been really digging toothpicks lately, man. You know, I don't want to eat a bunch of mints, and I'm really not a big fan of chewing gum. So
I don't like chewing gum either.
There's something about the toothpick. It looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. People might not admit it, but I know I look proud. I get a 10% boost in coolness when I have a toothpick in. I'm sure. I like it. I really like the toothpick thing, and it's just one of those things that I carry all the time. It freshens your breath, right? It's a cool little thing. But to your point, yeah, EDC should be a little bit about you and your needs, and not just like, you know, some kind of crazy special operative out there in the wild.
Well, I mean, I've noticed that if you want to get away from the screen, then you do need things that are going to entice you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, also, man. So when I left for prepper camp on Thursday, one of the last things I did was hand wrote my wife and 2 sons some notes, and when I write them notes, I seal them always with wax. I'm just like into that sort of sealing thing. You know what I mean? With the wax seal.
I love that.
I don't know. It's so cool. I think I don't know if they'll ever get a note sealed with wax from anyone but me in their life. Like these are my wife's, this is my wife's exclusive set. Like she's the only one that gets the blue and the cursive W for Walt. I have another cool one for my kids. But to your point, you know, the handwriting is so rare and you can't buy it. You can't go to Amazon and say, hey, can you send me one of my own handwritten letters sealed with wax for my son for his birthday? And those things really interest me. The things that you can't buy, you know what I mean, are really interesting these days to me.
What do you think, James, is the most key thing to carry on you?
Your cell phone, for sure. It's 100%. You know what I mean? It's your primary communications method. It's probably most people's primary light source. It's your primary source of intel in most cases. It has every contact that you have in it. You know, it's not cool. It's not the sexy answer. But if we're really going to talk about like a nuclear bomb just went off somewhere in the United States, you're not going to shoot it. You're not going to unscrew it with your multi-tool. You're not going to shine a light on it, right? You're going to you're going to go, God, Jesus, let me call, whoever. I got to get a hold of kids. I got to get a hold, that kind of thing. So assuming that cell service is still working, and I've had about one emergency event since I've been into preparedness where my cell phone didn't work for a short period of time. And outside of that, it's always been operable, So that would be my thing. Keep your cell phone freaking charged up and be prepared to call the people you need to call and get back together as a family unit because from there you can do anything.
Well, I mean, I've got 3 power banks and one of them sits permanently in my car.
That's good. Do you ever have any issues with heat?
Of the power bank?
Yeah.
No.
No? Good to know.
What do you mean? Are you saying does it heat up?
Like, will it overheat? I don't know. It gets pretty hot your way, right?
No, well, I mean, I don't think any hotter than your side, depending on the time of the year. But what I mean is, It's not permanently plugged in the car. I know
that, but it's just batteries heating to a certain temperature. I don't know what like the max temperature batteries. This is just purely for my curiosity.
Oh no, I don't live in Dubai
because of that. Oh, okay. Well, it gets hot in the car. Even, just normal summer. Like, it's probably 130 in my car these days when I'm not in it.
I don't know about,
I'm sure.
I don't know if you're aware, but cars these days, James, have air conditioning.
No, I understand. But you're saying you keep it in there all the time. So
yeah,
like
but my car's my
it.
car's in the garage. I have a garage at my house.
Oh no, I don't have a garage.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, my car sits out in the heat.
No, mine never does.
The sun goes in through the window, and heat turns into a
Well, listen
forge.
to this. Listen to this. In South Africa, you score on your insurance policies if your car is hidden from public view because of high crime.
Makes sense. I'm sorry to hear that, but it makes perfect sense.
So it's better to have your car inside a garage.
Yeah.
And out of sight.
Door. I mean, the garage door than your car door, right? Yeah. Makes sense.
So when you buy a car, yeah, and you get insurance on it, they ask you if you're parking it outside or inside the garage. And if it's inside the garage, then the premium goes down.
Wow. Yeah, that's weird. But on their end, it makes sense. Makes perfect sense. They look at percentages and risk for a living. That's what they do. Is somebody going to rip this thing apart to get inside of it or to drive it away?
Let's go back to your comment about a cell phone being the most important thing to carry.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to get off the control grid.
So this phone is a Android something or other. And my buddies over at mark37.com sell what are called ghost phones. And the ghost phone is simply wiped of your Google operating system. And then they put an operating system on it called Graphene. And Graphene is not Google. And the phone is built by them so that you can turn it into a tracking device if you want. You can do everything like you do on a regular phone if you want to, or you can be completely anonymous on it. You know what I mean? In large part, outside of Google's influence altogether, with your location turned off and actually turned off and those kinds of things. So, there's a little bit of a learning curve in there. You get your apps from a different place. You can't log into like a Google or an I account because they have iPhones too. No, they do not have iPhones. I'm sorry. They can't because the security is different with the iPhone. But, you can get your Android apps from a different place that won't track you, and as long as you don't allow it. So you could do a lot with a real smartphone that's just created like a ghost phone with the Graphene.
For me, one of the biggest biggest draw cards of keeping a cell phone on me, especially when I'm driving, is the maps. And carrying a physical map is ridiculous.
Oh, when you're driving, definitely. If you don't have a passenger, it's probably as dangerous as texting. You know what I mean? If you think about it, once you get down to like, do I gotta make a left up here? Do I gotta make a right
But
up here?
what map map app can you use that
Oh
is
yeah,
not Google?
so I just got back from a 6-hour trip, and I used it's an app called Magic Earth, built on the graphene. Oh, I can't show you that. Let me move. I can't. I'm just moving off my house real quick. I'll show you what it looks like. It's not populating anything because I just moved it, but this is it. You plug in your destination up top, and so I headed 6 hours south to North Carolina to the Appalachian Mountains. I wasn't like highway to highway to highway, and then location. I had to go through the mountains and all that kind of stuff, and it got me there no problem. You have to turn your location on for that to work. But it's when you turn your location on and you're not turning it on through Google, it doesn't go, oh, James Walton just turned his location on and he lives here and he drives there and he watches these ads and he likes to watch this on YouTube and do this and do that. The other thing that's amazing is what happens to YouTube when you start to scroll it on a ghost phone, because it doesn't know your algorithm. It has no idea what to serve you. And there's a whole side of YouTube never gets even seen because it's not good enough for the algorithm. I have a lot of fun on YouTube these days.
Something you don't think about is that digital prepping is a big part of our lives now.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's only going to get bigger. I mean, I don't know if you guys have them there, but we have the flock camera, just the flock camera fanaticism happening in the U.S. right now. It's this massive surveillance situation that's going down where states are putting up these flock cameras and people are cutting them down. And I love it here in this country, dude. And, it's just one of those things. It's like there is undoubtedly, and I'm sure it'll happen in your country because of the crime if it hasn't already. Surveillance is this tidal wave that's hitting people right now. And people are like, I want privacy. One way or another, so we got to work our way back again to that. Everything is mental. Everything builds off the will, because you're not going to do anything if you don't have the willpower to do it. You're not going to get out there and garden. You're not going to build rain barrels. You're not going to stay in shape. You're not going to shoot. You're not going to learn to shoot. Everything is discipline and mental. The only reason I'm where I am is because I didn't come here with special operator skills. You know what I mean? I came here I'm a chef, guitar player, fisherman, and have just worked my way up to where I am now just through literal will.
Guitar player, did you say?
Oh, yeah, man. Sure.
I haven't spoken about that in a long time.
13 years old. About 13, I started playing. I got locked in my house because all my friends were becoming drug addicts. And my mom was like, you can't hang out with them boys anymore. And I just started playing guitar alone. Then I met some bandmates. We had bands all through high school, and I still play. My son's playing now. I'm so proud. He's playing. He's getting good, too.
I got 2 guitars here in my studio.
Yeah? That's great.
Got a Fender Strat. And I got
the classique.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I got a Taylor acoustic.
Yeah, I've got an Ibanez, an Ibanez electric that we don't play as much, and then some cheap acoustic off of Amazon. It was like $80. And it works, man. It sings for sure. But guitar's great. Willpower. Mental, by the way. And one thing about EDC I think people need to understand is you're human. You know what I mean? So, build out your EDC, build out your vehicle EDC and preparedness and all that kind of stuff. And don't kill yourself if you go out with your wallet, your phone, and your keys one time. You know what I mean? A lot of times I see people in the preparedness world or who are starting in the preparedness world to really wreck themselves because they didn't follow procedure one time or something like that. And it's just, especially if you're new, you know what I mean? Like you're going to mess up, you're going to leave stuff. You're also going to have issues like you were talking about, Jerm, where you start carrying stuff and you don't know. You're listening to 2 guys right now telling you what they carry. You're going to start carrying stuff and you're going to go, I really don't want to carry this big stupid knife James showed me with the ring on it. I don't like it. So it'll evolve over time too. And comfort is everything, in my opinion, when it comes to EDC. If you're not comfortable carrying it, you won't carry it. It's probably the number one reason people don't carry guns. You know what I mean? Because they haven't figured out the right way to carry the gun, or they're scared of it, or they're afraid to offend people with it. You know what I mean? But if you can comfortably carry, you'll carry much more. So I like to apply that to EDC all the time.
If you're carrying a Glock, what is it, 19? I mean, that thing is not comfortable.
That's a big boy. Yeah,
no, I mean, so you're never gonna carry it because it's just too uncomfortable. So a friend of mine's got we call it the Barbie Glock. I think it's a 42.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's quite small.
Yeah,
I think it holds 5 rounds. 5+1, I think. I don't know. I can't remember.
I carried a 5+1 forever. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would prefer it. It's actually my preferred carry. It's a Sissy WPX2 or WP. So yeah, if you shoot someone from far away with a handgun, guess what happens? You go to jail. That's it. In most cases, right? Unless it's an immediate threat, and you're still going to have to fight in the courts. Like we were saying at the beginning of the show, using a handgun is a range thing. There's a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot where legally you're going to be safe, and a sweet spot where it's going to work. Like a guy with a knife who's on top of you, you have bigger priorities than getting your gun, and that's not getting stabbed to death. Doesn't matter what gun you're carrying. So there's a sweet spot with firearms for sure. You know, if you're in a situation where all hell breaks loose and there's no more, law to worry about, that's a different story. But if we're talking about EDC and being prepared for the day's, challenges, then being able to, even being able to shoot 15 yards with a firearm is crazy. Who are you shooting at 15 yards? Who can you look at and go, oh my God, this is an immediate threat to my safety, which that's what you have to prove in a court of law, right? You got to be able to say, I was threatened and I had no other option but to shoot this guy at 15 yards, 45 feet. I don't know how to do it in your guys' stuff. I'm just an ignorant American. So whatever that is, something close to meters, right?
For example, here in South Africa, I don't know if it's the same where you are, but here in South Africa, if somebody is even in your house, you can't necessarily shoot him.
It depends on the state. I have an easier time in Virginia shooting someone trying to get into my house than someone in my house, which is really interesting. If you're breaking in, you have a better chance of getting off legally if you shoot them dead breaking into the house. Yeah, than you do if they're in the house, which I can't wrap my head around.
A cop told me once that if that were the case, if somebody broke into our house, kill him, don't injure him.
Oh, for sure. I mean, well, one of the things we have in the States now is there's a company called CCW Safe, and what they do is they provide you with immediate access to a self-defense lawyer, and you pay into their insurance, and then they pay for your lawyer should you ever find yourself in a situation like that, because you need a lawyer quick, a good one who knows self-defense law, or else you're going to get tangled up. You may wind up in jail for a short time, or maybe, what Ken, my friend, always tells me, who works for CCW Safe, he says, when you kill someone, it's a homicide, period. Until it gets investigated. You know what I mean? And you just have to keep that in the back of your mind. And that doesn't just mean you shot them. You punched them in the head, they fell down, hit their head on the curb, and they died. Homicide. You stabbed them because they were stabbing you. They're dead. You're alive. Homicide. So it's just it's an interesting way to look at it.
A mate of mine killed a guy who jumped over the wall and came running at him with a knife. And what the guy with the knife didn't know is that my mate was carrying a Glock. And he immediately pulled it out and shot him, I think, twice. And then phoned the police. And he didn't go to jail. They took his gun away from him. Obviously, that's protocol. But he got his gun back eventually.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Like I said, sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't, but you better be prepared. You know what I mean? For that type of situation.
Yeah, but not just physically prepared. You have to be mentally prepared. If you got a gun, there's a psychology involved.
Yeah. Well, one of the most important things if you pull a gun, I think, is to know what's beyond your target. You know what I mean? You can shoot holes through paper targets. You can shoot steel. You can run and shoot steel. You can front flip and shoot steel and get good at that and get accurate. But the most important piece of advice that I ever heard, I think, when I started carrying a gun all the time was you better know what's behind the guy you're shooting, what's through him, what you could miss and hit behind him, i.e. people. You know what I mean? You're in a crowded mall and someone pulls out a gun and targets you or starts shooting other people. You think, I'm going to be a hero, pull a gun out to shoot him, miss, and hit some little girl, right? So that's and all that on top of like, oh my God, I'm pulling my gun out to shoot someone, which is the real adrenaline dump at the time, right? So yeah. So but it's a responsibility. It's a huge responsibility to carry a firearm, you know? And I've been on both sides of that thing, on the good side and on the bad side. And it's, you know, it's just one of those things. If you're going to do it for a long time, you got to, again, it's back to mental. You got to remain vigilant.
If you are in a country where you cannot, or may not, shall we say, carry a gun or a knife, for example, in China, I've been there. I don't think you're allowed to carry a weapon.
I'm sure you're not.
I might have that wrong. But even the police, they don't carry guns. So then I guess a form of martial art might be good, like jiu-jitsu or something. But just stop relying on other people to save you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you ever go on the internet? Here's what people do when someone's getting stabbed to death. That's it. They videotape you dying.
Yeah, for Instagram.
Yeah, that's it. That's their first response. Oh, let me make a video. This guy's getting his head kicked in by 3 guys. Yeah. I mean, there is, in the United States, there is this like, well, it's a recurring criminal problem. It's a bad DA problem. But like, there's also the problem no one talks about, which is no one intervenes. No one intervenes for the safety of both people in the fight. Right. Let people throw hands for a little bit, get a couple punches in. But yet there used to be a time where it was just you intervene. That's what you do. You stop the violence as a member of the community and move on with your day. And that's just not happening anymore. People are making videos and they're going like, oh, yeah, got a lot of views on that guy getting his head kicked in. It was pretty good. Lucrative.
What's the moral of the story?
The moral of the story is that, you know, the more self-reliant you can be moving to this uncertain future, the better off you're going to be. You know, EDC is a part of that. Food security is a part of that. And probably in the face of all the stories about, you know, what this future is going to be, what it could be, what it might be, or maybe what it even is to remember that your life is your life, right? And you, as much of it that you can control is what you should focus on. Not as much of it as what might be under the control of someone else or some big war or some big technology that could affect your life. It's like every day you get, you know, something like 16, 18 hours to make it the best day possible. And most of that is up to you. So do with that what you will.
Self-reliance, self-determination, preparedness. The problem, James, is that it's a bit of a laughingstock conversation.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Oh, he's a prepper. The guy's a nutcase.
Yeah. Until 2020, right? Until COVID and people are fist fighting in the States over toilet paper.
Or in South Africa until 2023 when you have no electricity. Actually,
no electricity. Yeah.
Actually, 2023 wasn't the only time. I mean, we've had electricity problems, I think, since 2012. But it depends on the year.
Yeah, I mean, we've been at it. We're a great case study because PBN has been producing shows since 2012. And really what we know about prepping is you're going to change people slowly. And there's some people you're never going to change, right? Some people are going to, every year, a certain amount of new preppers listen to our network, start prepping, living better life. And we're there. We're fighting the war of attrition. How many more can we pull out of the fray this year? You know what I mean? And get them on the right track. But there are, to your point, there are some that are always going to mock you and just, you know, what are you worried about? You can't help them. They got to find it in their own time. What we're doing right here is the best that we can do. Put this information in their face and hope that they figure it out.
Okay. You've mentioned it a few times. So one last time, how can I follow you?
Yeah, the best and easiest answer is prepperbroadcasting.com. We have 12 hosts over there now doing shows on, every preparedness topic there is. We do about 4 shows a day, and there's a contact form over there that goes right to my email. So if you're intent on listening to PBN or contacting me for some ungodly reason, that's how you do it. Prepperbroadcasting.com.
James, you and I have been chatting since 2023, I think. 2022, 2023, somewhere.
Feels like even before 23.
Yeah, maybe even before. I don't know.
Strands, but yeah, it was the old show and the old network and all that kind of stuff.
But it's always a pleasure, is my point. And
oh, definitely.
And this is not the last time, but for now, James Walton, thank you for joining me in the trenches.
Thank you for having me, man. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for watching to the end of the video. If you got value from it, consider joining as a channel member, which directly supports what we do here. The link is below, and if you're hungry for more, here are 2 more videos for you, and we'll see you in the next one.